Hi, I'm Carolyn from Allspice Abounds, and this is my second Flosstube video, Flosstube number 2. It's been 6 months since my first and only Flosstube. That was in August 2020. Today is Sunday, February 7th, 2021, and I am thrilled to be back for a second video, even if it was 6 months later. It's okay. Also, today is Sunday. I couldn't be bothered to do my hair, so here I am, hair disheveled. Who cares, right? Who cares? Let's talk about stitching. So I've got a bunch of half-finished projects, works in progress to show you today. Some new stash that I just acquired. Very exciting, very little, but exciting. And then I have a special piece to show you at the end. So let's dive in. So the first thing I have to show you is a finish, actually. I hardly ever finish anything because I am an extremely slow stitcher and I don't have a lot of free time. My work keeps me busy, so things really don't move along at a very fast pace around here, but I did finish something. And it's my cross-stitch geometric leopard from Velvet Pony Stitches that I started over the summer and I finished sometime in the fall. And here it is. Again, this is a geometric leopard cross stitch. It's full coverage cross stitch from Velvet Pony Stitches. She has an Etsy shop and her Instagram is @Pony Stitches. This is on white 36 count Zweigart linen, so just plain white, which is my preference actually. I like plain white. This is with DMC. 2/2, 2 strands of DMC over 2 linen threads. And I'll show you the back as well. I always like to show the back, full disclosure, there you go. So that's it. You can see it's not framed yet. I hope to frame it at some point in the future when I feel comfortable going back into my local art supply store for some custom framing. I've been trying to avoid going into public places if I can, for obvious reasons. I do go to work every day at the university, and that's enough exposure to other people for me. So I'm just going to hang on to this and frame it at some time in the future when things are a little bit better, hopefully soon. Okay, so that's my one and only finish for you. I do have a few works in progress to share. Again, I stitch very slowly. I kind of just plug away at little things on the weekends. I do not have any time to stitch during the week at all. I'm exhausted, I get home late. The weekdays are just out. So I do a little stitching on the weekends and, you know, make slow progress. So the first thing I have to show you is actually an enormous project that I'm not going to ever finish, but I'm going to stitch a small piece of it. And that is Eleanor Parr by the Scarlet letter. So let's see, there you go. Eleanor Parr by the Scarlet letter. So this is an enormous sampler. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. I'm not sure how well you can see that. What I liked about this was that the border is filled with birds, and I really like birds. I like kind of nature, animals. This bird border I thought was really unique and pretty awesome. Personally, I'm not crazy about the inside, so I'm not going to stitch that part. Also, the sampler is enormous. On the bottom, it says it's 24.5 by 28 inches. So this would take probably more than my natural lifespan for me to finish. So I'm just not going to do it. What I did decide to do was just stitch one side of the border and turn it horizontal like this. So I can stitch the birds and enjoy them. That's what I bought this pattern for, the birds. And just leave it at that. And I'll make a piece that's kind of long and skinny and frame it and have my birds, and that's it. That's a more manageable piece for me. It'll probably still take me a long time. It's taken me a long time already, but that's what I'm going to do. So I've been posting this on Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen bits and pieces of it, but here's where I am. Actually, first of all, I'll show you this. So I've got a long piece of linen, long and skinny for that bird border. And then here is what I have done so far. So let's see, I apologize if you can't see this very well. I'm up against a window here. I'm trying to get some good light, but I'm not sure how well you can see that. So I've done two of the birds. The bird on the, I guess that's on the left in the video. Hope I got that right. Is the central bird. So the bird kind of standing upright is the middle of 5 birds. And then the one on the right, I think, kind of pointing downward, is going off to the right of the piece. There's one more bird to the right and then 2 more to the left, interspersed with a variety of leaves and little tendrils and branches and all sorts of other miscellaneous things. So again, I'm not sure how well you can see that. It's kind of hard for me to tell on the video here, but so that's where I am. This took me an extremely long time to stitch. I have no idea how long, a few months plugging away at it. I did make a lot of progress in January when I had a break between teaching, between the fall and spring semesters. So I got a little bit done there, and that project is currently in timeout because it drives me crazy, to be honest. I love the look of it, I love all the colors, I love the birds, but there are a lot of color changes in that piece, a lot. You have to follow the chart very closely, and I sit there with my pencil, checking off. Yes, I write in my pattern. Try not to freak out about that. I do write directly in my pattern because I know I'm going to stitch this once and then never again. I check off as I go, and it requires a lot of paying attention, and it's very persnickety. So after a while, I just need a little break from that project. So it's in timeout. I love it though, and I'm sure I will return to it another time. Other things I've been working on. When I wanted to take a break from that Eleanor Parr bird sampler, I downloaded this pattern by Tiny Modernist, which is called A Mermaid's Life. So I'm sorry I don't have a color version of it. I only have a black and white printer here at home. I'll link to the pattern in the description below so you can see the color version. But it's cute, right? It's not that complicated. It's, you know, just a cute under the sea pattern, something fun. Again, I like nature, animals, I like sea creatures. This just was, I thought was just very cute. So I thought it would be kind of easier and a nice break from that big Eleanor Parr. So as I mentioned before, I have been trying not to go out in public too much, again, because I do go to the university every day and I get a lot of exposure that way through all the students and staff. There's just a lot going on there. So I figure that's enough exposure for me. I haven't been going out to really anywhere else except the grocery store lately. So I've been trying to use fabric and floss and just whatever I have on hand. I'm just trying to use what I have and stay in my house. So I tried starting that Mermaid Life pattern on this piece of blue linen. Here, maybe I'll fold it like this a little bit. And I did some. This is, sorry about this. This is kind of the bottom part of the pattern. So this is the sediments at the bottom of the ocean, and you can see there's a little coral there and a little starfish, a little baby blue coral. This is a shell that needs some back stitching, and then kind of the sediment there. You know, I'm not sure if this is going to focus if I hide my face. Yeah, I'm not sure if that worked, but you get the idea. So again, I'll show the pattern again. This is, you know, kind of down here. Right, the little bottom part, I started at the bottom. I have to be honest, I don't love it. I think that this blue linen is a little too dark. Maybe I'm being biased by the image of the finished piece in the pattern, which is kind of on a lighter blue. It's like almost a aqua or a turquoise. This blue linen is darker. I don't know, I feel like the colors don't pop as well on this darker fabric. So I can't decide if I should continue with this or if I should purchase some like brighter turquoise linen and just start over on that. So I'll be satisfied that my piece looks more like the pattern. I don't know what to do. I don't have any turquoise linen, so I've kind of just like hit the pause button on this one. So I don't know. This, I believe, is 32 count linen, and it's just Zweigart linen. It's not over dyed, it's just an original color. And again, this is DMC, 36 count, 2/2. So tell me what you think. Do you think I should keep going with this dark color? Or do you think I should get the lighter linen to make the colors pop a little bit more? I don't know, I can't decide. So in the meantime, once again, I have moved on to something else. I'm all over the place these days. So let's see, the next thing I've been working on, excuse me, is actually something a little different. It's a Quaker sampler by Modern Folk Embroidery, and it is the Kindness and Fortitude sampler. And again, I just printed out the cover page of the pattern here on my black and white printer. So since it's a Quaker sampler, it's monochrome, you can do it in any color you want. I'm doing mine in black on white fabric. And I just started this one quite recently, maybe last weekend or the weekend before. And so I haven't gotten too far yet, but this is what I have. So I've got the first motif that I actually just finished before filming this video. Hooray! Again, I'll zoom in. I'm not sure how well you can see this. Okay, so again, here's the back. Try to keep things neat. I try. You can see my sophisticated binder clip method of holding my extra fabric here. So that's what I've got. And if we go back to the photo of the finished pattern, so you can see I just did this part in the top right. This took me at least 2 weekends, so I've got a lot more to go, and you can see how slowly I stitch, which is fine by me. Who cares if I stitch slowly? I don't care. I'm doing this for fun and not to be a speed stitcher. When I'm at work, things are very fast-paced, I run around like a crazy woman all day long, literally running around the building. So when I'm home, I like to take my time on things. So after 2 weekends, I've got this. Now I'll also say that if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen this. So this is DMC, let me back up, DMC color 310 black, 2/2 on 36 count white Zweigart linen. I started this 1/2, so 1 strand of DMC floss over 2 threads on 36 count, and I didn't like it. I kind of debated whether I should just keep going with it or not, and I just didn't like it. And I knew that since I was only at a very small part of the whole pattern, I had a lot ahead of me still, I just didn't want to do the whole project that way with 1 strand if I wasn't happy with it. So I actually sadly got out my seam ripper and I ripped the whole thing out. I mean, it wasn't too much. It was less than what I have here. It was probably 3/4 of this motif that I had done in 1 strand. I ripped it all out last weekend and I redid it and completed this first motif in 2 strands, and I am so much happier with it this way. It's much more full coverage. It doesn't look so sparse and crappy, to be honest. It looked crappy before. So I'm much, much happier with this, and I'm going to keep going with 2 strands. And that is what I'll be working on later this Sunday, before I have to go back to work tomorrow. Okay, now I'll show you something a little bit different. So this is not cross stitch. It's actually a black work piece. It's another work in progress. My works in progress can just go on for years and years because I stuff them in my closet, which you can see right this way, my little closet right here, my craft closet. I just throw stuff in there and it could sit in there for a year or more before I get back to it. So, and again, who cares, right? Who cares? The point is you're enjoying yourself when you're stitching, and who cares if things sit for a while. So I've had this project. It's a black work peacock that I actually worked on a little bit somewhat recently in January. So here is that project. Again, it's black work. Again, it's DMC color 310, nothing fancy over here. it's a variety of different threads. So there's 3 thicknesses in here. The thinnest thread is 1 strand of sewing machine thread. Then in somewhat darker areas, I used 1 strand of DMC, and in the darkest areas, I used 2 strands of DMC. And there's a bunch of different black work stitches in here. I'll try to zoom in. I don't think it's focusing, so I'm sorry about that. Not an expert floss tuber by any means. It's amateur hour over here, but hopefully you can get an idea of it. Again, it's a variety of stitches and threads, and I'm just kind of doing my own thing here, but I actually really like how it's coming out so far. This one's more time consuming because I'm making it up as I go along, so I have to think about the different stitches and threads that I want to use, and you know, it's kind of moving along slowly whenever I have time. So I said it's my own design in that I'm making up the embroidery as I go. I did not draw that peacock myself. I traced it from this coloring book that someone very kindly gave to me a few years ago, because I also enjoy coloring in addition to stitching and sewing and quilting and other things. But this is the Birdtopia coloring book by Daisy Fletcher, and here is the page that I traced that peacock from. So I'll just show it quickly. It's right here. And then this is my tracing that I did from the book. So I just traced it right out of the book, just the major lines here in pencil and colored pencil, and then I transferred that onto my fabric for my black work peacock in progress. I think I said this before, this is that same linen. I got a yard of it, a full yard, so I had plenty of this white linen to go around, 36 counts white linen. And so that's where I am. I think I'm done with the peacock at this point, and I'm starting to fill in the feathers, which I hope to keep a little bit lighter than the peacock itself. We'll see how successful I am at doing that. We'll see. So that's that. Next up, I'll show you just a tiny bit of stash that I recently acquired. This was a piece of Happy Mail. I'll share that I actually don't buy myself things very often at all. It's rare that I buy myself something, but I kind of splurged a little bit here, and I bought a cross-stitch project bag, my first cross-stitch project bag, and here it is. So this is a Beauty and the Beast project bag from the Brass Button. Jennifer at the Brass Button has an Instagram and an Etsy shop, and I purchased this recently from her Etsy shop. Here is the back. So it's a Beauty and the Beast fabric, which I thought was just really cute, and I like the colors. I like blue and pink. This bag, so Jennifer's bags have handles, which is really nice, so you can carry your stuff around. Carry my projects around the house now. This is so great. It has a little button charm on the zipper. Of course, I'm not showing you this very well, but I think you get the idea. It also has vinyl in the front, so you can see what you've got in your bag. The bag is really just extremely well made. Everything's fully lined inside. I mean, it's just great. I can't wait to put some projects in it. So I'm super excited about this. I feel very official that I have a cross-stitch project bag now. Just, so great. So thank you, Jennifer at the Brass Button. The bag is beautiful. I got it really quickly. All good. So I'm excited about that. Finally, so we're at about 19 minutes. That's good. So this won't be much longer. Finally, I wanted to share a very special piece of cross stitch that I own that was not stitched by me. It was actually stitched by an extremely dear friend of mine, Laura. So Laura, if you're watching, hello, I miss you. Laura and I have been friends for over 20 years, believe it or not. We were roommates in college, so I've known her a long time. And she is an avid cross-stitcher, and her work is beautiful. It's perfection. She is an excellent stitcher. She's been stitching a long time, I think ever since I've known her, maybe before. And she stitched this for me and gave it to me several years ago, perhaps for my birthday, I can't remember, probably. And this is one of my most prized possessions because it was stitched by someone very special to me. I hang it up right here in my craft room, right above my sewing machine, which is right kind of over here. I have it up on my wall, and it is a cross-stitched sewing machine. Hopefully you can see that. Sorry, the glare from the window. So again, this was stitched by a good friend of mine, Laura. I have it here in my craft room, and I love it. This is one of just my most prized possessions, and I just treasure it. Laura, thank you so much. I look at this every day. It reminds me of our friendship and how much you mean to me, and it's just, I love it. I just love it. So I wanted to share that. Okay, oh, I just love it so much. Laura has cross-stitched one other piece for me from her wedding, which is also one of my prized possessions, and perhaps I'll show that to you another time. Her work is just impeccable. Anyway, that's I think all I've got for you today. So not too long, about 20 minutes here. I don't know if or when I will make another Flosstube video. Maybe over the summer after the semester is over. I seem to have time to breathe between semesters here. The spring semester just started. We finished our first week of class, and I'm pretty tired. And I'm gonna have another long week ahead, but at least I had some time today to make this video. So anyway, I hope you are all doing well, staying safe and healthy, hanging in there during this very unusual time. I hope you're enjoying your weekend. And as always, happy stitching. Bye-bye.